Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new year. Welcome to the future. That is Starcraft 2, as well as the year 2012. Osborne here bringing you this Terran versus Zerg matchup on the Metalopolis. Today we've got our players here in the red Caliice playing Terran, and his opponent, the Changes brood of Zerg, who is wearing blue, which is, of course, the worst color of all the Zerg broods. That's right, there is no arguing that. Blue is the worst Zerg color. And he will be using his blue overlord to scout the red Terran. And he will be able to determine that it is indeed close by our positions on Metalopolis. Which means he should probably be careful about any kind of Banshee play, as it is very tricky and it can work very well in maps such as this and also Shattered Temple, which has the same overall layout without all the silly things, except that Metalopolis has a bunch of silly things in the middle. Extractor trick coming down for Changes, so we're dealing with some pretty big badasses over here, using them extracted tricks and such, doing them fancy magics to get that one extra drone out. Meanwhile, Caliice is just gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna rally my SCV over here. Not even gonna bother. Just gonna wall off with my 11-12 barracks, which is kind of strange, actually. Don't do 11-12 barracks, people. It's bad. I don't know if it was actually 12-12 or 11-12, but either way, either do 11-11 or 12-14, because that'll just be so much easier for you. Just so much easier. And also try to get the orbital command right around here. 15 is where you want to be for that. Make it, yeah, perfect. Alright, so we've got a pretty nice little setup here for Caliice. If you couldn't tell yet, I am actually a Terran player. TBZ is my favorite matchup to watch. It's my least favorite matchup to play because I'm just so bad at not dying to Mutalisks, honestly. I'm really bad at that. So we've got these two SCVs not mining. I don't really like that, but okay. Mule comes down, so it is making up for those two SCVs and also another half of an SCV. And we've got a 15 hatch, 15 pull coming down for Changes. It's coming down. It's my favorite word to use when in terms of StarCraft things happening. Coming down. And there is that spawning pool. We'll see what he can do. Anything at all. Anything? No, decides not to make any Zerglings, but he will be making a queen. 2 queens? No, just 1 queen. Okay, that makes sense. And 2 spine crawlers, which is going to be very effective to deter this little push we've got coming here. 2 SCVs definitely going to try and look for a place to put that bunker. Put it really close. He sees the 2 spine crawlers, and he puts the bunker in a place where it will not be able to reach the hatchery. Oh boy, I don't know if he realizes that or not, but we've got 5 Marines, and he cancels both of the spine crawlers. Okay, well, it just got a lot more dangerous for our Zerg player, so we'll have to see what he can do to deal with this. I'm not quite sure if he can do anything at this point, though. Trying to make some Zerglings, running them up into the base. Gonna try and do their best to defend this hatchery, and this 1 Marine will go down. A very good defensive position. He's going to lose all of these Zerglings for absolutely no reason. Oh boy, that was very close. What's the range on this thing? Range of 3. Oh boy. What is Changes going to do about this? Caliice finally taking all of the Marines out of the bunker. Could he use his Zerglings to try and trap them? Doesn't look like he's going to try and do that. It looks like he's just going to have to be content with losing this hatchery and setting up a spine crawler very intelligently so that there's no more backup coming in. But it doesn't look like there is going to be any. There's also not going to be any expansion now. He's got a completed command center. What is he waiting for? Oh, that's a bit of a blunder on Caliice's part. Finally now morphing it into an orbital, but I'm not quite sure if that's the wisest decision right now. I would think that you would want to be able to get that expansion into place. How many SCVs does he have? Not quite enough to be saturated, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Although it would be nice to take those extra third SCVs and bring them down to where they'll do a little bit more than they would otherwise. And now he just has an orbital command just kind of sitting there, not doing much. Not calling down any mules. Not going to the expansion. Caliice, you're killing me here, bro. Okay. Anyway, looking over to who is expanding. Changes is expanding to the gold. And it's kind of like a halfway between a proxy and an expansion because it's so damn close to that Terran base. I mean, that's pretty dangerous right there. If he gets either one of those Xel'Naga towers, which I have no idea why he does not have them at the moment, then he'll just know that it's there and will be able to easily squash it. Unless, of course, he doesn't do those things, in which case Changes will be in a very good position to just get a whole crap load of whatever the hell he wants. Probably going to be Banelings, which is probably what you would like in this kind of situation against the Terran that is going basically pure Marine at this point. I mean, he is getting up his factory, so he will start making dem tanks. And the... Oh my gosh, what? Caliice, what are you doing? Why do you have 4 SCVs queued up in your... can only be described as a macro orbital at this point. That is just not what you want to do. Where did all the... Where did... Oh, shoot. Baneling bust. That, he pulled them away to deal with the Baneling bust, but it gets through anyway. I'm not sure if that is going to be enough, though. Trying to take out the starport. Not going to happen, unfortunately. For our Zerg player, down it goes. A little bit of a, I don't know, what would that be considered? Maybe a scare, just to... I'm not quite sure how much I liked him showing his hand like that, but... We'll have to see how it goes. The gold base has come up, and he is getting dem gold minerals, which are just so very, very nice to have. 4 Zerglings here, no Banelings? More from the Banelings, please? I can't make them do that because it's free play, but I can't imagine why he wouldn't want Banelings to defend this, as the only thing that's there to really do anything about it is these Marines, which die really quickly to Banelings, as do dem Hellions, as they are considered light, and actually no, I guess 3 Banelings for that. It's pretty bad, actually. Finally, Caliice decides that, hey, this orbital should go in an expansion, and calls down 4 mules to do the dirty work of mining. So, not the worst idea. Let's see how much units each has. 29 to 29 workers, so Changes being a little bit behind on the worker count. I mean, I know it's even, but with those 6 mules, that's going to go crazy for Caliice, even with Changes' gold minerals. And it looks like Changes has decided to get supply blocked. I can't say that's a good idea. Now has lost his other overlords, and now here comes the other overlords to replace them. So there's that. Finally putting down his natural. Took him a long time to do that. I'm not sure if that's going to bite him in the butt or not. But just a lot of overlords being grown, and it looks like Caliice has found the gold, and he will decide to just kill all of it. Oh no, putting in the Zerglings, they're all going to die because that's not what you're supposed to do. It's why you want Banelings. And now everything here will die, taking them gold minerals with them. Well, if worse comes to worse and it comes to a macro game, Changes has taken a little bit of minerals from Caliice, which is nice to have. Oh, and there's a bunch of Zerglings trying to take out that Hellion, and they do. They do. My voice just cracked for no reason. They do take out the Hellion, and I don't think they lost anything there. Changes, you'd be surprised how long I haven't played. That is not correct English, but whatever. Not quite sure what he's trying to say, but this queen has so much energy that it's kind of making me ill. That is a lot of energy for a queen. Like for anything. Orphan in a bunch of Banelings, which is what you're supposed to do. Let's see what the drone count's at right now. 36 to 35, so he needs to drone up pretty heavily, which he can afford to do because It's just a bunch of freaking Marines. That's all it is. It's just a ton of Marines. And those Marines are going to be a little bit of elevator played right into Changes' main base. Some Marines and an SCV because, hey, why the heck not? Let's see what they're going to try and do. They're going to kill that Overseer, which is a very good idea. And what else are they going to do? They're going to try and take out that Evolution Chamber, but there's a bunch of Banelings and they kills everything. And they lose his 8 Marines to, I think that was 2 Banelings. And we've got an SCV just drilling into that Evolution Chamber with so much hatred. Hope to see what he's going to do. And it dies. Okay, that's more like it. And it looks like caliice just really likes Marines because he's making a whole bunch of them. He is also getting supply blocked. Oh, you guys, and you're being supply blocked, and you're being platinum level players, and all that good stuff. Although caliice is getting his 3rd, which is a little bit more in a timely manner this time, because I'm gonna tell you right now, the last thing was at like, what, 11 minutes in, and he finally moved his orbital command that he had to the expansion. So, not quite the timely thing that you would like, and a macro hatchery coming down for Changes, so as well as a 3rd, so that's actually smart. Every 3rd base you want to try and get a macro hatch. Nestea taught me that, even though Nestea isn't doing quite as well as he used to. It's a lot of fun. And anyone who thinks that creep gives you sight, this right here, if you notice, these trees block sight. So the things that actually give you sight are these creep tumors. Their sight is pretty impressive. It's basically the entirety of the creep spread that it gives, but I once thought that creep gave you sight, and in fact it is creep tumors that give you sight. So that's interesting. I guess that doesn't really make sense because sometimes when you get your hatchery killed, there's creep there, but then like you see the creep stay. And that's enough of my tangent for now, because we've got Mutalisks on the field, and Mutalisks are just oh so very, very overpowered. I just do not like them at all. They are just my least favorite unit ever. And these Zerglings have decided that their lives are not worth living and have run themselves into a siege tank line with a bunch of Marines, and that's just not what you want to do with your units. It's just not. Although caliice finally transitioning into that very standby-ish Marine tank kind of thing. Only 1 factory, though, and he just keeps supply blocking himself. It's not what you want to do. You don't want to supply block yourself, people. Don't supply block yourself. Big scan coming down. I'm going to try and delete some of these, delete the creep tumors from the map. And we've got a bunch of things, and they're going way too far in. What are you doing? Stimming away, but still getting caught by a bunch of Banelings. And now here comes some Mutalisks to take out some free tanks. Mutalisks do die, though. So a little bit of a missed micro opportunity losing 2 or 3 Mutalisks to those Marines. But getting 2 or 3 tanks. So, I mean, tanks are definitely cost more than Mutalisks, so it's not a bad trade. Also, all of those Banelings did go down. He needs to make more of them right now. It looks like he's decided to, instead of attack the main base, go for these outlying expansions, which is not the worst idea. And look at those explosions, lighting it up like the 4th of July. Just explosions all over the place. Conversely, New Year's, which was very recent. Haha, topical. Anyway, we've got them going over to the 3rd, which I cannot imagine to be a very good thing. Going to be surrounded by Zerglings if he's not careful. And he's not going to get surrounded, but he will just get completely mopped up. And there's nowhere for these Marines to go. Actually, a very nice split, which makes him waste just enough Banelings for that not to be as nice as it would have been for our Zerg player Changes. I'm waiting for this queen to inject, and there it is. And we've got this hatchery also contributing. No queen on that hatchery, though. I'm not quite sure what it is, although he keeps missing all of his queen. What? How did he get this inject, but not the other 3? Why wouldn't you inject all of them on your minimap? Also, fun fact, you can use your minimap to do larva injects. So anyone who did not know that, I am here to help you out. Oh look, 1 Marine. But he's not going. There you go. Kill that shit. Kill that reactor. Kill the reactor. Kill the reactor. Kill the reactor. You're not killing the reactor. You killed a supply depot that had a supply drop on it, so that's taking out 16 supply, I believe. Which is interesting. Yep, 16 supply. You get 8 for one, and then another 8 because of supply drop. Supply drop, for those of you who've never used it, because you're not supposed to, because macro is good. Supply drops give you an extra 8, and it costs you 50 things on your orbital, which is just something you don't want to use for things that you should be building anyway. 20 more Zerglings coming up, and it looks like Changes is just going to sit back and macro. Should probably try and get another 2 or 3 expansions, because hey, why not? Not quite enough that the Terran can do about it, as he only has a shit ton of Marines when he knows that his opponent has Banelings. Painful. Anyway. So much energy on the orbital commands. Very good decision to get a planetary fortress. Not so much of a good decision to train a bunch of SCVs at once. But it's platinum, you can kind of get away with it. And these two are not... They stopped mining before there's minerals. I don't understand. What? Okay, well, whatever. Giant Master Marines that is going to get completely crushed by Banelings reporting in. If only... Destroying that Sphinx statue, because screw that Sphinx statue. That might have been a free medevac, but not going to take that chance. Going to try instead go back and get himself killed as such, and that's what he does. He wanted to do it. Here comes a giant rolling ball of Banelings that's going to completely crush absolutely everything. Oh my gosh, how did I call that one? Bunch of Marines not good against Banelings, and away run all of those Stim Marines, just doing the equivalent of, what? A lot of damage. 10 times, what's that? 8, 16, 18. So he did about 1,800, fuck. 180 damage. I can do math. Shut up. And he's kind of microing his Mutalisks strangely, because there's only like 4 Marines there, and he just kind of went back and forth for no reason. Oh well. Finally getting another expansion. Deciding not to go for the gold, which I think would have been a good idea. Hey, look, a free medevac. Hey, look, a free medevac. Hey, look, a free medevac. Kill the medevac. Kill the medevac. Why aren't you killing the medevac? Changes. Come on now. Kill the medevac. You know you want to. You know you want to kill the medevac. But you're not going to kill the medevac. The medevac's going to get away. Oh, dear. Oh dear. Sons of Oh dear. Wow reference. That's right, I did it. Let's see how many Mutalisks he has going on. He's got 23 Mutalisks. Why doesn't he just go in and kill shit? I mean, at this point, you can just go and do that. Just go kill shit. Also, 25-minute mark, 3 bases for caliice. What? You've got a bunch of tanks. Well, not a bunch. You've got some tanks and a lot of Marines. So you can defend it against the Mutalisk routes, which is the reason why most people can't. Oh my god. What is this? Look at that oversaturation on that base. You've even got this one SCV just kind of standing in the middle. Oh my god, that is so many SCVs. And this one isn't much better, honestly. Where is your expansions, bro? Terran bro. Your opponent right now, he's supply blocked. Through no actions of your own, he has supply blocked himself. Which is very strange, but just gonna say that there's a bunch of Mutalisks in your base. Okay. Well, that's probably a kind of a problem, honestly. A lot of Mutalisks in your base, you don't really want that, so... Yeah, that's not gonna do anything. Okay, anyway, whatever. Let's go and attack with all of these Marines that are just 1-1. So no upgrades for that. And your siege tanks, which are 0-0. And against Banelings, which have +1. Okay, so this is the part of the game where nobody ever gets upgrades. I can only imagine that it is because an upgrade touched them wrongly as a child, and I probably shouldn't joke about that because it's actually happened to some people, but come on, people. Come on. Get upgrades. You know you want upgrades. You know you want to stim into a fucking Baneling rolling thunder thing that's just bad. Not bad split, though. his splits are pretty good. He's definitely worked on his split micro, and it's pretty good. And Change is deciding to BM a little bit because, you know, Zerg players are assholes. I'm just kidding, Zergies. I love ya. Thanks for watching. Hey. Meanwhile, speaking of Zerg, we've got a bunch of Mutalisks. We have a bunch of Mutalisks just kind of tearing the place up, doing so much damage that it's kind of ridiculous. And we also have a bunch of Banelings just going to come in and roll in and kill absolutely anything they want to because they can. And we'll see what happens now. It looks like it's going to be quite the massacre, and instead of staying caliice GG's, but instead of actually leaving right on time, Change decided to run all of his Banelings into those SCVs, and that's just such a pretty picture. Zooming in on that, because that shit is awesome. Gonna give you a little GSL action right here, moving around the camera, being a boss like that. Look at them Banelings. Just they do not give a fuck. Alright, this has been Osborne bringing you this TVZ on the Metalopolis. Changes persevering through what most people would consider a cheese, and winning against those overpowered Terrans. Troll face. Anyway, see you guys next time. I hope you subscribe if you like the cast, and see you guys next time.